Good evening there, everybody. What is happening? Hopefully, you all are having a wonderful day today. So, I thought that I would give you guys my fight prediction. There's a lot of boxing happening in the month of December. Some very good fights, or at least some big stars returning. Errol Spence and Danny Garcia, I believe, fight this weekend on December 5th. I believe Anthony Joshua and Kubrat Pulev, which is a fight we're going to be predicting today. They're going to fight next weekend. And I believe the weekend after that is going to be Canelo Alvarez versus Callum Smith. And there might even be some other fights that I'm not even remembering right now. At least that's just boxing. But anyway, it's going to be a very exciting month. And one of the biggest stars, possibly the biggest star in all the boxing right now, Mr. Anthony Joshua, is going to be returning, I believe, next week for a fight against Kubrat Pulev. And I'm here to predict this fight for you guys today. So who do I see winning this fight and why? Well, to me, there's a very clear favorite here, and I think we all, more than likely know who the favorite is going to be going into this fight, and that's going to be Mr. Anthony Joshua. Do I believe that Anthony Joshua is going to beat Kubrat Pulev? Yes, I do. In what fashion do I believe Anthony Joshua is going to beat Kubrat Pulev? I personally do believe that Anthony Joshua will most likely knock out Kubrat Pulev. Now, the big question is what version of Anthony Joshua are we going to get here? Because Anthony Joshua, ever since that knockout loss to Andrew Ruiz, and ever since he avenged that loss to Andrew Ruiz, I'm sure that there has been certain things that have changed within his style. I'm sure he's a little bit more tentative maybe to throw punches, or overall he's going to play things a little bit more intelligently. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Anthony Joshua necessarily does in this fight and how he plays it. Now, Anthony Joshua has said that he plans to return himself back to form, meaning overall that he's going to go for the knockout most likely in this fight, and we'll see if that's the smart decision or not. You don't want to always go looking for the knockout, because sometimes if you go looking for the knockout, that means you can be looking to get knocked out yourself. But it is what it is, because you don't want to run into something. But when it comes down to the overall, do I believe Anthony Joshua most likely is going to knock Kubrat Pulev out? Most likely. Anthony Joshua does have some flaws, of course, even with his most updated style, even with making adjustments in the Andrew Ruiz rematch. You can still see that Anthony Joshua is hittable. I'm not going to say he necessarily has the worst chin in the world. Would I say he's a bit chinny? I would say he's a bit chinny. I would say that his chin is not nearly as bad as what a lot of people try to say it is. But keep in mind, Anthony Joshua was not necessarily in good condition and did not take that first fight against Andrew Ruiz very seriously. So there's a good reason why Anthony Joshua was knocked out so easily against Andrew Ruiz, and the reason why that is because he was not really in the most elite of conditions. So it is what it is. But when it comes down to the overall, I do believe that most likely he's probably going to keep some of that muscle mass off, and I do think that will help him. On top of that, when it comes down to it, I do believe Anthony Joshua will become a better boxer from that loss. I believe that he learned some things. And on top of that, we'll see. Anthony Joshua says he's going to return back to his knockout ways and all sort of stuff. But I just want to see. And for Anthony Joshua's sake, because I have been rooting for Anthony Joshua for quite a while. Now, once again, I'm not a fanboy of any of these fighters or anything like that, but I do root for certain fighters. I do like certain fighter styles, or certain fighters. I like to watch them fight. Anthony Joshua is one of them fighters. I think Anthony Joshua is a very talented heavyweight. He obviously has some flaws, but when it comes down to it, I would love to see a unified heavyweight champion. All right, there should be a unified heavyweight champion. I would love to see a unified heavyweight champion, and that would be pretty cool, actually. And I'm not British, but it would be pretty cool if it could come down to it being a unified British champion. I just find that interesting. So a super fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury really, really intrigues me, and I hope that fight will happen eventually. So I hope he gets past Kubrat Pulev. But Kubrat Pulev at the same time, nothing to mess around with. Overall, he does need to be careful. Kubrat Pulev does have power. He actually does have surprisingly quick hands overall. But besides that, Kubrat Pulev, to me, is not that big of a threat to Anthony Joshua. Of course, Anthony Joshua needs to take him seriously, But do I see Kubrat Pulev now? I heard Bob Arum basically say, and I'm hearing a certain amount of people say, well, Kubrat Pulev might upset Anthony Joshua. He's better than Andy Ruiz. He's in better condition and, bigger and faster and stronger and all that. Well, I'm not really sure how much faster or how much, stronger he really is than Andy Ruiz. And do I believe that he's the better boxer than Andy Ruiz? Personally, no, I don't. I'm not really even sure if Kubrat Pulev would be able to beat a Joseph Parker. In fact, if I had to put my money on it, I would most likely say that Joseph Parker would most likely beat Kubrat Pulev. Kubrat Pulev in Ring Magazine rankings right now is ranked at number 10 in the boxing ranks, and that's probably where he deserves to be ranked, because if he is a top 10 guy, he is barely a top 10 guy. Now, this is not me trying to, trying to take away credit, from Anthony Joshua. If Anthony Joshua beats Kubrat Pulev, this will be another top contender, decently good top contender, at that Joshua has beaten in his career if he does win this fight, which I'm betting that he will. But when it comes down to it, although this guy is a top contender, Anthony Joshua should dominate this guy. I do believe overall that he should knock this guy out, because although a lot of people say Kubrat Pulev is highly skilled, I've never seen Kubrat Pulev as a highly skilled fighter. Kubrat Pulev, to me, although he is decently fast with his hands at times and he does have decent power, I've never really been overly impressed with his skill set. He's very upright. He has that very upright, mechanical European style. His chin sometimes is stuck right out in the air when it comes down to the overall, and sometimes he is very easily hittable, and I don't see the best head movement from him either. So it is what it is. Once again, that's not me trying to take away credit from Anthony Joshua if Anthony Joshua beats Kubrat Pulev. But to me, this is a stepping stone for Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua should get past this guy. He should run over this guy. I'm not saying maybe, possibly, that Kubrat Pulev will not give him a tough fight for, say a couple rounds. But I do expect Anthony Joshua to get the stoppage. I expect Anthony Joshua to be impressive here. All right, now, depending on how Anthony Joshua is going to go into the fight, we'll see what happens. I don't know if he actually is going to go for the knockout, or I don't know if he's going to be a little bit tentative, so we'll just have to see. So this knockout, from what I see, this knockout could happen anywhere from, say, the first 3 rounds all the way to the 9th round. It could happen within the first couple rounds. It could, because Anthony Joshua does have A-class power, and Kubrat Pulev is very hittable. I just don't see an A-class fighter when I look at Kubrat Pulev, so it is what it is. I mean, I don't even know if Kubrat Pulev, to be quite honest with you, is on the level of a Joseph Parker. Maybe in terms of resume, but even in terms of skill set, and Joseph Parker, although he is a decently talented fighter, I wouldn't say he necessarily has an A-class skill set. Kubrat Pulev, I don't even think has the skill set of a Joseph Parker. So it is what it is, and a lot of people would disagree with me on that, but I've never been overly impressed with Kubrat Pulev. I just never have. So it is what it is. But when it comes down to it, I do expect Anthony Joshua to get the knockout. I do expect him to be dominant in this fight, or at least dominate most of the time. Win at least a good 70% of the fight, if not 80% of the fight. Maybe Kubrat Pulev can pull out a couple rounds, but I don't expect anything more out of Kubrat Pulev. And I do not expect Kubrat Pulev to knock out Anthony Joshua. I think Anthony Joshua from now on is going to take his conditioning very seriously. I believe that Anthony Joshua is going to take this fight very seriously. I believe ever since that loss against Andrew Ruiz, he realizes how important it is to not only be in good condition, but also to take your opponent seriously. And even if Kubrat Pulev were to hit Anthony Joshua flush on the chin, do I see Anthony Joshua getting knocked out just by one punch from Kubrat Pulev? Anything is possible. It's heavyweight boxing. But personally, I would say that's more unlikely. Even Andrew Ruiz, who is a very decent puncher and has decent boxing craft, he did not just knock out Anthony Joshua with one punch. That was over the course of, a few rounds. Now, Anthony Joshua is a bit chinny, but his chin is not as bad as what some people try to make it out to be. He can take a punch, he can get back up from a punch. So it is what it is. We'll see what happens, but to be quite honest with you, Kubrat Pulev, I think it's going to be very difficult for him to land in the first place. Now, maybe I'm wrong about that, but we'll see what happens. Once again, I've never been overly impressed with Kubrat Pulev, but we'll see what happens here. Anyways, I expect a showcasing here from Mr. Anthony Joshua. I expect him to be dominant, and I expect him to win this fight by knockout. So I'll say that Anthony Joshua wins this fight within 5 or 6 rounds, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, that's it for my prediction. Hopefully Anthony Joshua wins this fight. At least I hope he does, so we can see a super fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. That's if Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder don't get into a third fight, and we'll see what happens. But of course, even if they do get into a third fight, I do expect Tyson Fury to get past Wilder a third time. And overall, I do expect Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury to happen eventually. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, it'll be very interesting. We'll have to see what they do. We'll have to see how this fight goes down. Overall, I do believe Anthony Joshua will win this fight. And to be honest with you, I don't really see this as a particularly close matchup. I think this is an 80-20 matchup at least, if not 90-10. But it is what it is. That's really about it for today. I believe Anthony Joshua is a huge favorite in this fight. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. But I just really don't see that much out of Kubrat Pulev. I think Anthony Joshua has defeated fighters, even like an Alexander Povetkin, that are a level above Kubrat Pulev. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's it for my prediction. Let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to y'all later.